honestly feel that it is nothing to ask us to take a couple hours out of our schedule to honor people who've given their lives in years and even physically injured, to be able to honor them today.
Oh man, it's time to honor the veterans and honor the history of our country, and it's just a super time. It's a fairly, fairly good day.
Well, it's basically to honor veterans of all wars. There's a deep meaning in this country of this day, and like no other day, we need to think of the ones that gave the ultimate sacrifice and the ones that served in the military. That's what this day means to me.
Oh, I'm Sergeant Major Ron Ballard, retired commander of the VFW, Pelican Post 1383, and Memorial Day is the day that we recognize the cost of freedom. This is the biggest turnout I've seen since I've been doing this for the last 5 years. This is an awesome day today. Hopefully the VFW will be serving stew to anybody that would like stew this afternoon, and the American Legion is going to have chili, and the Marine Corps League will have spaghetti.
I'm Bud Hart, and I'm City Councilman, City of Klamath Falls. I retired as a captain in the Naval Reserve. I was an old bubblehead submariner. Memorial Day is just a time to recognize those who have died in the service of our country.
I'm doing this partly because I have a deep respect for the veterans, and also because I got an invitation from the Veteran Service Office. I've been doing this for a few years now. I've enjoyed this. I worked with the Veteran Service Office with for my Eagle project, and they helped me out get through that, so why not help them out? My name is Sean Carter.
Kathy, do you see anybody?
I'm Greg Taylor, City Councilman. Ward 3. Remembrance of all of those who have gone before us to protect this country, and specifically my grandfather and my father, who have bricks out here at the Veterans Center as well.
Did you serve?
I did. Vietnam, 28 years, active duty. I've been at Mount Suribachi, been in Korea where we're still in a state of war. Been all over the Western Pacific and up in Alaska, such as out at Attu, one of the only places that America was actually invaded by the Japanese in World War II. Lots of friends in Iraq. Strongly believe in our country, and it's the greatest country there is. We need to remember how we got here.
The ceremony will start here in a few minutes. The first thing to happen will be a flyover by the 173rd Fighter Squadron. That's our own Air Boys. John Carter, come forward and sing our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so bright proudly we hail at the twilight's last gleam, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight for the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streamed, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
I'd like to thank all our city officials, county officials that are here today, and they will be introduced as they lay wreaths later in the ceremony. The Grand Marshal for today's parade was Ernie Brace. Ernie is known as the longest held captive during the Vietnam conflict. Ernie was shot down over Laos May 21st, 1965, and was not released by his captors until 1973. To fully understand and appreciate Ernie's struggles, one only needs to read his book titled A Code to Keep. The purpose of the Veterans of Foreign Wars in the United States as a federally chartered corporation shall be fraternal, patriotic, historical, and educational, in part to perpetuate the memory and the history of our dead. That is why we are here today. It is for these reasons I find it appropriate to quote the founding words of Decoration Day. Let no neglect, no ravage of time, testify to the present or the coming generations that we have forgotten as a people the cost of our free and undivided republic. These words can be found in General Order Number 11, which was issued on May 5th, 1868 by John Logan, then Commander of the Grand Army of the Republic. Decoration Day is now known as Memorial Day. So this has been in place since 1868. By honoring our nation's war dead, we preserve their memory and thus their service and sacrifice in the memories of future generations. At this time, I'm going to turn the mic over to Senior Master Sergeant Ben Quinn, retired. He is going to perform the POW-MIA ceremony.
As you enter the memorial, you may have noticed a small table up here in front. This table is our way of symbolizing that members of our profession of arms are missing from our midst. They are commonly called POW-MIAs. We call them brothers. They are unable to be with us this day, so we remember them. Except for one.
Hello?
The empty place represents Americans still missing from each of the 5 services: Army, Navy, Marine Corps, Air Force, and Coast Guard. This honor ceremony symbolizes that they're with us here in spirit. I'd like to explain the items on the table. The table is round to show our everlasting concern for our missing. Remember. The tablecloth is white, symbolizing the purity of their intentions to respond to their country's call to arms. Remember. The lone candle symbolizes the frailty of a prisoner alone trying to stand up against his oppressors. Remember. The single red rose displayed in the vase reminds us of the life of each of the missing, as well as his loved ones and friends who keep the faith awaiting answers. Remember. The red ribbon tied to the vase is a symbol of our continued determination to account for our missing. Remember. A slice of lemon on the bread plate is to remind us of the bitter fate of those captured and missing in foreign lands. Remember. A pinch of salt symbolizes the tears endured by those missing and their families as they seek answers. Remember. The Bible represents the strength gained through faith to sustain those lost from our country, founded as one nation under God. Remember. The glass is inverted. They cannot toast with us this day. Remember. The chair is empty. They are not here. Remember all of you who have served with them and called them comrades, who depended on their might and aid and relied upon them, for surely they have not forsaken you. Remember.